Get the blue.
We continue on with the TSN Team Challenge 5-pin edition, and it's Team West against Team Ontario. And Team West, very good. Seeded number 1 as we go in. Their combined score, 13-03 to Team Ontario's 10-36. The winner will go on to face the Prairies for the $2,000 winner take all. And to get us going for Team West is Kim Chadwick from Prince George, BC, a former Pins Game champion from back in 1988.
In the high game of the tournament, a 364 for Kim. Pulled that in the quarterfinals against Leslie Walliser.
Just couldn't come back for her, and just started a little wide.
Yeah, she throws that big hook, and if there's any oil carried down on the lanes, that has a huge effect on how much the ball breaks. There it is. Ooh.
Oh boy, how did she fly that around the corner?
That's just because of the big angle that the ball's breaking across the face of the head pin. And so when it hits on that sort of runaway angle, it just skips right by the corner pin.
So Kim Chadwick will score the 15, and over for Team Ontario to lead off the captain, Yvette McClellan from Sudbury.
That had a score of 286 in the preliminary round. On the side.
Oh boy.
Great shot.
Yvette making her first appearance on TSN in the women's 5-pin championship. Now Mark Johnstone from Edmonton.
Kind of egging the crowd on to get loud.
Boy, we saw him overpower how many racks of balls.
Wow. Push that one way left, punches a 3-pin.
Mark made it through to the semifinals. Took home $2,000 from this year's edition of the Canadian Bowling Championship. Oh, great spare by Mark Johnstone.
Gets Team West started.
More nervous there than it was on the
Now from Thunder Bay, Ontario's John DeGrazia. John DeGrazia was also one of those first-time surprises for us.
Bowled really well, kept his composure, stayed in it every match. Defeated Gino Zebarth, shot a 274, and then got beat in the quarterfinals by Bob Osborne. Oops, find the middle, John. That was one of the things he did when he was, especially that first match when he shot the 274. Always around the head pin and made all his spares.
And then in the second game, he just sort of lost it. All the things that we thought might affect him seemed to, and then he comes up here with the open frame after the strike. And so it's 36-2 for Team Ontario. And for Team West, Penny Hefner from Medicine Hat, the newly crowned Canadian women's 5-pin champion. He won $10,000. Oh, it moved back. Oh, my. Looked like it was just going to punch forever.
Had a little bit of a backup, and it did take right at the back end. Team West now with a lead in the match.
Judy Begley. Oh, my. Just missed. The ball scooted past the right corner.
Big skip on that corner on the bowling ball. It hit the head pin and then the 3-pin and went on the outside of the corner pin.
Judy from Whitby, Ontario. Got it? No, she doesn't. So a 13 count. So back-to-back opens for Team Ontario. They started with that strike. And now we go to the 4-hole for the West. And from Aldergrove, BC, Barry Wright, the runner-up in the 08 Men's 5-Pin Championship, losing to Mark Van Dale in a tremendous final for the top prize. Barry took home $5,000.
Pretty tough to keep your concentration on the with the noise in the background here. All the Team West supporters getting pretty loud. Touch it.
Give it a little bit of a rub. That corner just won't go. And the 15 for Team West in the fourth, 88 through 4. And now in the fourth spot for Team Ontario from North Bay, this is Steve Meyer. Just one previous appearance on TSN was the Pins game in 03, and then he lost in the preliminaries of this year's Canadian Championship.
Shot at 256, lost to Corey Gallant. Needs to get back on the middle here. Get Team Ontario back in this. Two in a row wide left.
There's no hiding in this format when people are watching,
and there's
calls.
No mercy from the crowd either.
It's a tough crowd as he gets the 15. So through 4 as we switch lanes. It's Team West, the open frame, 88 in the fourth. Team Ontario, the open frame, 64 through 4. Back to the top of the West order, and this is Kim Chadwick. She had the 15 count in the first. Crossed over and got it.
Took a little bit more straighter line to the pocket that time, and even with that, it crossed over. Good reaction, though. Second strike for Team West.
Now we've had McClellan from Sudbury. She had the opening strike for Ontario, the only strike they've had so far. Remember, Yvette was being bothered by some arthritis in her foot during her matches. No problem.
Great shot from Yvette. 2 in a row now for her. First and fifth for Team Ontario, and those are the only 2 marks they've got so far.
Now it's Mark Johnstone. Johnstone with a spare. Back in the West second.
Right on it. Great shot from Mark Johnstone. Left-hand pocket, little backup.
So it's back-to-back strikes now for the West. And this is John DeGrazia from Thunder Bay. He had an open frame in the second. Looking to make it back-to-back strikes. Oh no, he'll punch the head pin.
Oh, that's 2 opens in a row for John. First one, he missed the middle. He punched a 3-pin and then took the other side out here. He punches the head pin straight through. Now I have to work hard on the other side. Count 12. does.
For the 12 count. And so Team Ontario 98 through 6. Team West, it's all going their way right now. They have back-to-back strikes in 5 and 6. And this is Penny Hefner. 3 in a row? No.
Miss left. Penny had a strike in the 3rd frame. Like to keep this string going and follow that double up with a spare here. She gets it on the side and converts the spare.
So 3 straight marks for Team West. And Team Ontario really desperate to get something going here as the West now leads by 55 pins through 6. Judy Begley. Got it, Judy? No, she doesn't. The left corner won't go.
Right corner in the 3rd, but she missed on 2 balls. Now the left corner. Need this spare, Judy, to keep your team in the match.
Yes, yes. So the spare for Begley. And you can see the difference. The 55 pin difference, advantage West through 6. Both teams with spares up in 7. And this is Barry Wright. Coming back. Well, it was, you could just see it move down there, Bill. You thought it was just good if you could just stay there, but no, it had to come back to the left.
Hooked back to the pocket. It just moved too much that time. So 2 open frames in a row for Barry Wright. Team West will be up with a fairly comfortable lead here through 8 frames.
Team West, the #1 seed coming into this team challenge with an aggregate of 1303 compared to Ontario's 1,036, which made them the 4th seed. So the open frame in the 8th means Team West is at 188. And now it's Steve Meyer from North Bay.
Hoping to capitalize on that spare in the 7th from Judy Begley. Has to have a big count. Hit the middle. Get a big count.
Steve had an open with his first, and he's wide left. There's the spare, so back-to-back marks for Ontario in 7 and 8.
Hi, Kim. One time, not here. One time, Kim. Come on.
But it's still a big difference. 118, 173 through 7. The open frame for Team West as we switch lanes. Team Ontario with the spare up. And back to the top of the order for the captain, Kim Chadwick.
Team West with a possible 278. Well, broke away again. Happened to her in the 1st frame. She did get the strike back in the 5th, but it was almost a runaway as well. Just caught the left-hand side of the headpin. There it is on the inside.
Good job.
All right, you marked something to work with. Yeah. It's all right.
Well, what a game Yvette McClellan has had. She had a strike in 1, and a strike again in 5. Ontario now desperate for some strikes. No, not this time.
Well, now they're in big trouble. 9th frame here. They must have this spare. Set up Bob Osborne for the 10th. They got with the spare. They've got a possible 213.
Oh, nicely done. So Yvette McClellan of Sudbury has done her part for Ontario. As we go to the 10th, and it'll be Mark Johnstone from Edmonton.
And a chance here for Team West to shut out Team Ontario. Needs 6 pins on his first ball to shut them out.
Goodness.
Well, not over yet, but it's getting awfully close. Team Ontario with a possible 213. Mark Johnstone has to hit a pin in his next 2 balls to win the match. Don't go through the middle. There you go.
There it is. And so Team West, seeded number 1, will move on, and it'll be an all-Western battle. Prairies against the West for the $2,000 winner take all. Team West with a 2-2-3. So John DeGrazia will finish it up out of Thunder Bay. The best that Team Ontario can do is 213. Been a bit of a struggle for John. He had the open in 2. And now he finds the head pin.
Much better shot. He got that out on the lane with some authority.
$198 possible with this final pin. And he won't get it. $196 for Ontario, but it's Team West. Just a little more consistent with the 3 strikes in 3, 5, and 6. And they will play the Prairies for the $2,000 winner take all.